we're here to welcome Addison into the community of faith, into those people who set their mind not on human things, but on divine things. And as the story in the Gospel points out, that's a challenge. Peter has been following Jesus for years, but when push came to shove, when it looked as though Jesus was in fact going to be arrested, he wanted to change course. And he gave up trusting that to follow Jesus was to entrust oneself to the reality of life, present, moment by moment, and day by day, and go back to trying to take control of one's life and to figure it out for oneself and to live according to the human reality rather than the divine reality. So that's just as much a challenge for us today as it was for Peter then. In fact, more so. You know, our life is so much lived at the level of just trying to get through it, getting by it. That to take the time each day to remind ourselves that life is more than surviving. Life is about being present to the glory of God moment by moment. The divine things that Jesus taught us to be able to do. To really be able to live as though one were a child of the universe. As though we all belong here. And the love that God gave us for one another is what we're here for, to do and to be and to celebrate. But life becomes getting up in the morning and getting out of the house and getting to work, being there all day and coming home, and in between times we're not attending to the reality of God. We're on our phones discovering what else it is we need to do and to be, and life becomes a blur. Life is full of human way we constructed reality rather than the glory that God intended for us. And it's hard. This Lent, we're doing a Lent course, which is sent to us by the monks in Cambridge of the Society of St. John the Divine. And they have dedicated their life to learn to live in terms of this human reality. They spend an hour a day praying first thing. And they learn a lot about how to do this and about how to live in community. I mean, it's hard enough to live with one person. Imagine living with a dozen people that you didn't choose and just arrived, and you have to live with them. That's hard. So they're sharing the fruits of their wisdom in a 2-minute clip every day. And they've been inviting us this past week to stop and take a moment to be aware of God's presence with us. And last Sunday we had some time to talk, and we're also posting in our Facebook page about what this is like. And so one of the invitations is to take 5 minutes and just be still. Take 5 minutes a day, don't do anything, just be still. And a couple of people actually did that. You know, it's hard, but I did it. So the next invitation was to take a day, simply to be, not to do anything. And everybody said, whoa, you know, that's not going to happen. I mean, my life is, I get to have 10 minutes with my kids when I get home. And that's hard. We're going to take a day. So, you know, you can. When our kids were little, Tricia was still breastfeeding, but she would leave after breakfast on my day off, and she'd come back at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'd hang out with my 2 boys, 6 months old and 3 years old for a while. And we would have a great time, because she wasn't there to supervise. She would arrive home, and the 6-month-old would be in the backpack with the 3-year-old's back, and he was just running around the kitchen. We were having a good time. We all survived. It's harder now. Life is busier and faster paced. We're more connected. then to the internet to which we have sold our souls. We are called at St. Mark's to be a community of practice. It's not so much about what the impossible things that you believe. It's what are you practicing? How are you practicing to set your mind and your heart on divine things, on the divine reality of life, up there and out here? How do we do that? And you can't take 5 minutes. How about when you get out of bed, take 3 breaths. 1 breath to thank God for the sleep that you had. 1 breath to realize I'm here, in this moment. Here I am, me. And 1 breath to look forward to the day that God has given you. That's a practice. You've got time to take 3 breaths before you start your day? Do that. Because as we practice, it's like anything you practice, you get better. Perhaps you can take 3 breaths when you arrive at work, and 3 breaths when you arrive home. And pretty soon, you're learning to take 5 minutes. And not long after that, you're finding a way to take a whole day. So that we get to spend our life, this one life God has given us, in the glory that God intends for us as individuals and as a human race. And that's what we're here to do, to create a community of practice so that we learn how to do that, and we hold each other accountable and we hold each other up. It's into this community as we are baptized in. And you have already begun to bring us joy. And we trust that you will continue to do that. And we will promise as part of the service to support you. And I invite each of you to think about what that's going to mean. How you will be supporting Addison to set her mind and her heart on divine things and not be swallowed up by our human reality. So I invite the baptismal party to come forward, and you'll need a prayer book